Hello, Tony, and welcome to GRA 220 in virtual space. I hope you're holding up well, and I really admire your submission. This will be some video feedback for Milestone 1. So, Tony, here's what you have provided in the 4.1 discussion board. And so I'm assuming that this is probably the most recent iteration. It's got a lot to recommend. I like how you incorporated this week's type manipulation into it, and you've got it to serve the purpose of your promotion. I like the circular motif very much. It has a few basic shapes, and it also creates sort of a general shape. So I see, this circular shape, the martini glass, and these palm trees which clip the edge here on a diagonal. It creates some nice movement in the ad. You've got a lot of information. I like how you discreetly placed the Amethyst Bay logo off here. I think it's just the right size. You don't need to make it much larger. This is great too. The all caps, which what you see first. This is certainly what I see first. Then I see this and Amethyst Bay. The orangey yellow and the green, they go well, surprisingly, against the Amethyst Bay corporate colors. I like the silhouette of the palm trees on the beach scene, and the glass is very convincing. I'd love to see the Photoshop file of that. I don't think I've seen the most recent iteration of that. But I'll open up your Illustrator file and take a look. So in general, great. I think it just needs a little bit of refinement, and here's how you can do that. It mostly is regard to typography. If you set something in caps, make them slightly smaller and add letter spacing. That will make them still prominent, but it'll give a certain dignity to them. And the same is true on the type on the circle. You've got it to run around within this circle. If they were caps, or preferably small caps, but they may not exist for, what is the typeface? Or Arial. Is Arial the corporate typeface? Anyway, run these as caps, also similarly spaced. Perhaps, this looks good, though. Upper and lowercase looks good here when the line is small, or the type is small. So maybe not change that. And perhaps put some transparency on these solids so that, what's in the background comes through. If the photograph extends down past this blue bar, this pale blue bar, which I don't think you need, then perhaps you can make this semi-transparent so that you can see some of the beach and the water there. Great job, nicely composed, and I think you have all the ingredients, including contact information on the poster. Hard to recommend what I would change. I certainly wouldn't add anything, and perhaps find ways to organize or to simplify just a tad. I would err in that direction before I would add anything. Great job. Tony, here's your Illustrator file opened up, and wow, this is great. You've got everything embedded in the file, and so I don't have to go searching around for imagery. Well, actually, it found them in your library. Is that right? And you've got everything on layers, so I can turn them off. And this is great. You figured out how to crop something so that the excess of the image, in this case, I think it's the palm trees, is that right? Yeah. It's not distracting. You've got it cropped out, but I can still slide it around. And I see that, I'm assuming that this is you did some work on it before you posted earlier this week, because I like the arrangement you came up with, which is, that circular motif, and the BOGO, the letters slightly different sizes, much better. Hey, I also wanted to say that, I like the green and the yellow-orange against the corporate type palette. It's really refreshing. It's different. So I see that you've made a lot of refinements, even from this last iteration. You've got the requisite layers and then some. Your file organization is great, and you've figured out how to, manipulate type. It looks like you went through one of those tutorials curious to know which one it was. Good job. Tony, this is, I don't know if I have too much more to say without flogging the horse. Here, I see that you were careful about getting securing the rights to the images that you are using. That's really great, and I think that discussion from last week echoes in all of our heads that even though there may be many distractions now, it is still always a good time to focus carefully and give credit where credit is due. And if that means a copyright, that's just let us not forget about that. And I'm glad to see that you remind us of that. Good going. Again, don't hesitate to text me 956-566-4923 if I can answer any questions, and also available by email. Might be good to get something through the general discussions or the general questions discussion board. Just maybe evolve some sense of community in the last couple of weeks. All right. Wish you the best.